Welcome to the BRASH Sports Pick'em Pandemonium, a BRASH Plus exclusive. I am here with Brandon. We are not doing a full episode. We are just doing our NFL Pick'ems for this week. And of course, we're going to throw a little parlay action at you. We are testing out new software. We don't want to dive all the way in yet until we can figure out if this works due to recent fuck-ups by other software. So we're just going to run through some pick'ems quick, do a quick parlay, and then get the fuck out of here and enjoy the rest of our day. And hopefully, if this works, we might have found the software that works for us. And then we'll just record these on the sides as a BRASH Plus exclusive offering. So if you do want to see more of these, you're gonna have to fork over $19.99 a month in order to keep these going.
Subscribe now while that offer stands, because
it's definitely gonna go up.
Yeah, especially soon after this episode is uploaded to YouTube. I mean, I'm sure everybody's going to want a piece, and once demand increases, we got to increase the price. Sorry.
Yeah, yes, that's just basic economics, guys. It's not up to us what we charge. It's up to the market.
It's business.
It's business. So we're going to skip all the normal bullshit that we normally do at the front end of every episode and just dive right into pick'ems, yeah?
Let's do it. We're already one game in, Thursday night football.
Oh, yeah.
You and I disagreed, and you got the better side of that coin with the Carolina Panthers getting the win at home. I went against my strategy for these Thursday games. If it's a coin flip, go with the home team. I went against that because I couldn't bring myself to pick the Panthers, but shame on me. The Falcons, they just looked sluggish. They never could really get back into this game. 25-15 was the final. So, good job. Because
just a little bit of proof here. Just a little bit of proof.
I know. Well, I don't need to show proof. I'll just tell you I got it wrong.
You lost.
I went with the Falcons. Wrong. I know. Shame on me again. I went against my own principles, and you just can't do that. Can't do it.
There are certain principle plays, certain system plays you got to stick with in the NFL. And I do think the Panthers are pretty hungry. And I think at home, their defense is Jekyll and Hyde, man. When they go on the road, they just don't play as well. When they're at home, Brian Burns just shows off for the Carolina crowd. And he was a difference maker in the game. PJ Walker continues to look good. And Deontay Foreman, man, it's like, oh, I see why they let Christian McCaffrey go, because I think they found a fucking stud running back in Deontay Foreman.
Yeah,
because he looks awesome week after week.
Yeah, I picked up Chuba Hubbard. I thought he would get most of the carries, and I was wrong.
He has the better name of the two.
He does.
I wish he would just go by Chuba Hubbard, because that's way cooler. But he goes by Chuba. Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubba might be the best name, but he doesn't go by that. So, that's why Deontay Foreman is the guy, because Chuba Hubbard doesn't sound as cool as Chuba Hubbard. But yeah, that one's out of the way. We can move on to our Sunday picks, starting with Seattle at Tampa Bay. Who do you got for this one?
Q Ramstein. This is our first NFL game in Germany. So I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot of it on game day, first thing in the morning on Sunday. Can't wait. Love these early morning games. They should do them every week.
Yeah, I love them.
But in order to do that, they'd have to have a game overseas every single week. And I know a lot of fans don't appreciate that, especially if you're the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fans and a home game is being stolen from you to go to Munich. When these teams go overseas, Josh, I kind of throw everything else, all logic out the window. Fresh slate, even though we're looking at a 6-3 Seattle Seahawks team going up against a 4-5, a surprising 4-win Buccaneers team. To me, they should probably only have 2 or 3 wins, but they are at 4-5. They're still hanging in there in the hunt of the playoff conversation, especially in that division. Popular vote, of course, goes with the Seattle Seahawks, as well as it should. Their defense seems to be getting better and better every week. But I'm going with the Bucs. I think Tom Brady has a great day in Germany against that foreign crowd to show him what the GOAT really looks like. And they're going to get the win. They're not going to dominate. It will be close, but I think people will be surprised by how the Buccaneers look on Sunday in Germany.
Here's what I learned. So I've been to Munich, and what I learned when I flew over there is that old people are really affected by jet lag. Tom Brady is very old.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically, in the NFL, a 45-year-old is the equivalent to an 80-year-old outside of the NFL. So I think he's going to be affected by the jet lag. And I just think Seattle is a better team. They impress me week in and week out. They look like a great team. They have just unbelievable rookies. They had an incredible draft. Seattle, man, those young, hungry little Seahawks. I think they're going to get it done, but I could see this game going either way, obviously. I did flip-flop a little. I did have Tampa Bay when I made my initial picks, but then the more I thought about it, I said, why would I pick them over the Seahawks? The Seahawks just look better. They're younger. They're hungrier. They want it, man. The Seahawks want it this year. I think it has a lot to do with everybody doubting them before the season. They saw it. They saw assholes like me coming out and publicly saying to thousands and thousands of people, Seattle's going to be the worst team in the league. I said that. So I'm eating my words. I have to do them a little justice here and say that they're the better team, and I think they're going to get it done.
Yeah, I was extremely low on the Seahawks too coming into the season, so
yeah.
they've shocked me as well, and I'm sure most NFL fans have been surprised.
Not many people were like, no, watch out for Seattle. I didn't hear a single person, not a single person,
no,
except for Pete Carroll.
But yeah, that would put the Seahawks at 7-3 and really in a top position to make the playoffs and win their division. So, hey, we'll see how that pans out. It's going to be fun to watch. Again, first NFL game in Germany. So that will be interesting. But now let's come back to the United States. And specifically, we're headed to Buffalo because that's where the Vikings are going. This should be a really good 1 o'clock kickoff. The Vikings taking on the Bills, the 7-1 Vikings taking on the 6-2 Bills. And man, that Vikings game against my boys was rough because it wasn't pretty. And, by no means were the Commanders, really taking control of the game. But the way it ended, it was just such a soul crusher. I think the Vikings, after watching that game, are a kind of some fool's gold, man. That 7-1 is a fraud. They need some luck to go their way, especially those Zebras. And I don't think they're going to get it against a heavily favored, just overall Buffalo Bills team, not specifically in this game, even though they are the popular pick with 70% right now on ESPN going with the Bills. I'm going with the Bills. I think the Bills get to 7-2 and put the Vikings at 7-2. And the Vikings realization kicks in that they can beat the teams like the Commanders, but they can't hang with the big boys like the Bills. So give me the Bills.
I like that logic a lot. I saw somebody talking about this. Last year, nobody lost more one-score games than the Vikings. They were always that team that just seemed to be in every game but losing it in weird ways. And now this year, they're that team that's in every game but just like winning because of whatever, fate, refs, whatever you want to call it. But I think this week is definitely a reality check for them, going on the road to Buffalo, playing that fucking nasty defense. As long as Josh Allen doesn't just kind of shit the bed like he did, and I think Buffalo's realizing like they need to establish the run. They have good running backs. They've got a decent offensive line. They need to run the ball. They have to be a dual threat team because right now they're just saying, hey, Josh Allen, go win this game for us, right? Put everybody on your back. And it's just not working because as good as he is, teams can figure that out, right? So they have to establish a running game. moving forward this season, or else I'm not going to be able to trust him in the playoffs. The Vikings are a good team to experiment on. I think that defense just shuts them down. I don't know what the Vikings total team under is, but I would definitely take it because you're right. A little bit of fool's gold with Minnesota. They're beating up on bad teams, and the games are still very close. So I think once they go into Buffalo, it's going to be a reality check for them. I got the Bills.
Bills currently favored by 3. The over-under on that one is 42.5 as we speak here on Saturday morning. Now, interesting note we didn't even bring up, there's still a chance we might not see Josh Allen. There's been a lot of talk about an injury.
You're right.
And if
right.
that
he
happens,
has missed practices.
If that happens, you know, I kind of have to go with the Vikings. You know, interestingly enough, Case Keenum is the backup for the Bills, and he most recently played for the Vikings and was actually replaced by Kirk Cousins. So if he's tossed in there, who knows, man? You know, in front of the Bills Mafia, could he surprise people when everybody would jump ship and then go with the Vikings and still give them the dub? I don't know.
Case Keenum was the quarterback for the Minnesota Miracle.
Yeah.
Or the Minneapolis Miracle, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Whatever they called it.
That's Stephon Diggs catch and run. That was amazing. Yeah.
That's interesting. But by the way, Stephon Diggs for the Bills now too. So
if real quick, I mean, because they could on game day make that switch and say that Allen's sitting out, would that change your pick'em for that game?
No, because I still think it's the defense that's the story here. I still think Buffalo's defense does a good enough job containing the Vikings, and I think Case Keenum's good enough to get by. Obviously, it would affect how much I think they win by, right?
Didn't even think of it. Fucking, he could have, and he has Stephon Diggs.
That's what I just said. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm just like, duh. You know, I'm not even, you know, it's not, sorry, buddy. It's not clicking for me, but
no, it's okay.
I'm getting there.
It's early. So yeah, dude, I wouldn't change it. I would stick with the Bills. So you're saying if Josh Allen is out, you're gonna switch it over to.
You know what? Fuck it. I'm sticking with the Bills no matter what.
Wow.
So,
all right.
It's official.
I mean, you're well within your rights.
Well, those
pick'em players.
The odds may definitely change.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm gonna stick with the Bills. I think they're just a better overall team.
Yeah. Okay.
Offense, defense, special teams. They'll get it done even without Josh Allen for one game against a 7-1 Vikings team, because Case Keenum and Stephon Diggs would put on a show just to show those Vikings that they made a mistake letting him go.
That would be awesome.
That would be really, really cool. All right, the next one on our list, not a thriller, but it should be a close one. It should come down to the wire between the Detroit Lions in Chicago against the Bears. Lions at 2-6, Bears at 3-6. Right now, Bears are heavily favored in this one, and I'm sure it has a lot to do with the performance of Fields in their last game, like 170 rushing yards or some shit.
All he did was set an NFL record for a single rushing game by a quarterback. No big deal.
But then he also had another like 10 passing completions.
Right.
So in the end, as a quarterback, you need to be able to complete passes.
Yes.
It's a passing league, and this is a solid coin flip right here. You could make a case for either team to get the win. I'm going with the Lions. I think the Lions match the Bears and get to 3 wins in Chicago.
You know, a couple weeks ago or before the season, I would have agreed with you, but Chicago's the hot team right now. They're playing great. Last week, their loss was the best loss of the week, right? Like, they're coming out of a loss with some momentum, saying like, hey, we're legit, we're for real, we can do this. The Lions got a win, but they beat up a horrendous Packers team. So I think Chicago at home is the play, so I'm going to go with it. I agree, though. That's just two kind of bad teams.
Definitely stay as far away from that for betting purposes. You do not.
Oh, yeah. No,
nothing.
Not touching it.
Not even the over-under. The over-under right now sits at 48.5. Just stay the fuck away from that game.
Away. Yeah, because both defenses are letting up a lot of points. Both offenses could be good or bad any given week. Jared Goff on the road also is abysmal. So that's another reason why I think Chicago, I'm giving them the edge, because Jared Goff, I mean, you can't trust him at home. You really can't trust him on the road. So I like Chicago here.
All right. Good deal. Let's go with the Denver Broncos headed to Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans. Broncos, everyone knows that they've been listening to us, our opinion on the Denver Broncos.
Worst team in the NFL.
I don't see you differing with me and not picking the Tennessee Titans at home in this one. They are favored by only 2.5, which is a bit surprising. I think that might have to do with the fact that there's still a chance we might see Malik Willis again.
Yeah, it's like 50-50 right now.
But again, Derrick Henry's fine. So, worst case scenario, just give him the ball. He'll take care of the rest. I got the Titans all day at home against the Broncos. Not really much to break down there.
Well, the only reason I am picking the Denver Broncos this week.
No way! Oh, wow.
This one has just that classic feeling of, why is the spread so low? What's going on here? Something stinks. And when something stinks, you got to run toward the stink. And I think Denver pulls it out. I'm definitely more comfortable taking some points here. Like, if I'm betting this game, I'm betting Denver plus some points, because they are notorious for just like having close games and Russell Wilson shitting the bed or whatever. But yeah, I like Denver here. I don't really know why Tennessee should be the play, but I think Denver's defense shuts down Derrick Henry, and I think Russ finds a way to win. Yeah, there's no reason I should be taking Denver, and that's why I'm taking Denver.
All right. Wow. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise. I'll be keeping an eye on that one. It's another 1 o'clock kickoff. The next 1 o'clock kickoff we're getting to is the Jacksonville Jaguars headed to Arrowhead to take on the Chiefs. Now, if you can make a case to pick the Jaguars, I will be absolutely floored.
Well,
because I can't. I got the Chiefs going to 7-2, getting an easy victory over the sorry Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
now, the Colts did, same division, upset these Chiefs, but it was a different time in the season, and I don't think you'll see the Chiefs come out flat like that again. And there's just no way you can justify picking the Jags to make this upset. Although there's some upsets coming from me at some point.
Yeah, you can make the case for any team this year, is what we've learned.
You can.
But this is not the game for Jacksonville. In fact, there's not a single team in the NFL I would pick to beat Kansas City in Kansas City. So I love the Chiefs. I think they blow out the Jags.
Only 2% of ESPN users making their picks went with the Jags.
Yep. Yeah,
all Jaguars fans, definitely.
No, I looked into the numbers there. It's all people who were picking games and then fell asleep as they were picking, and then accidentally clicked on the Jaguars. I did the research. That is how that happened.
Okay, there's still a chance they could correct their mistake before.
Yeah. They might log in. We'll probably see that number go down as people realize what they did.
Cleveland Browns headed to Miami to take on the 6-3 Dolphins. Popular pick, of course, goes with the Dolphins, currently favored by 3.5 points. I can't pick against the Dolphins right now. It looks like under Tua, they are a tough out for any team. I don't care who you are. And this is a Dolphins team that they beat the Buffalo Bills. Now, yes, I know the Bills lost to the Jets recently, and again, I think that had a lot to do with that injury to Allen. It gave them a bigger opportunity. I think the Jets' defense is significantly better than the Browns' defense. But sorry for jumping off onto the Buffalo Bills, but I'm going with the Dolphins at home here. I do like Jacoby Brissett. I do think it'll be closer than many might believe, but I am giving the Dolphins the edge at home, and I think when they are 7-3, they are legit 7-3 team and should be taken seriously as a potential AFC champion.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
This is a game that I went back and forth on several times. It is really hard. It was really hard for me to pick a team in this matchup. I think it's a very close game. I think it's potential for overtime. I think the winner of this game is not winning by more than a field goal. So I do like the Dolphins. I'm giving them the edge because they're at home. But I think Myles Garrett is just, people keep talking about Micah Parsons and what's his name, Judon up in New England on these crazy runs. Myles Garrett's like, hey guys, I'm still here. I'm still a world-class pass rusher. Don't forget about me. And he's going to be up to his ass the entire game. Tua's not a phenomenal scrambler. I don't know. I have a gut feeling that it's a very, very close game. I wanted to pick the Browns. I did pick the Browns probably at 3 different points this week, but I ultimately ended up on the Dolphins because they're at home and they have all the firepower. That wide receiver duo of Waddle and Hill is just bananas, right? Put me in at quarterback. Put me in coach. I'm ready to play. I could probably find a way to get it to I could throw the ball pretty far. I would just fucking air that thing out every single play as far as I could and just hope that he could run underneath it and catch it. So, in fact, I could probably do that better than Tua. I'm going to go on record right now and say I could throw a football farther than Tua Tagovailoa.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd put any money on that. I'm sorry, buddy.
I would get amazing odds.
I like your confidence.
You wouldn't put a couple bucks? Dude, I got a cannon.
I want it.
It's not an accurate cannon, but it doesn't need to be, okay? You just fire that thing as far as you can. But anyway, Dolphins.
Let's get to this one. You should have a fun time watching this 1:00 kickoff. The Houston Texans headed to MetLife to take on your boys, the G-Men of New York. Giants currently sitting at 6-2, Texans at 1-6-1. Giants favored only by 4.5. I think that's low. Over under on that one is 40.5. I would stay away from the over under on this one, but I do like the Giants getting to 7-2, and I like them winning convincingly by at least 10 points against the Houston Texans.
See, the Giants are not a team that blows out other teams. We stay in games, we stay competitive, we don't let the games get out of hand. We keep it manageable so that we can stay in them. Mm-hmm. I think the big story here is Houston's rushing defense is awful. And we got a little guy named Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
And an offensive line that is completely revamped and looks really good. So I think my personal opinion on this game is that it's probably going to go under. It's probably going to be closer than people would expect, just because it's going to be both teams rushing the ball constantly against each other. I think the Giants pull it out, but I'm not touching the point spread. I'm staying away from that. But I do think the Giants can find a way to beat Houston at home. I know, hot take there. But yeah,
find a way.
Yeah, find a way to just sneak out a victory. But yeah, I would say I don't think they win by 10. I don't think they beat any team in the league by 10. That's just not their MO. So give me the Giants, but give me a close game for every game for them.
Wow, I don't see the Texans scoring more than 13 points in this one. Mark my words.
I don't see the Giants scoring more than 17 points any week. So that's just their game. I don't know what it is. That's just their game.
But we're both going with the Giants to get the victory and get to 7-2. Let's go to the New Orleans Saints. They're headed to Pittsburgh, Steel Town, to take on them Steelers. This should be a close one. Saints at 3-6, Steelers at 2-6. Popular vote goes with the Saints, but the Saints are only favored by 1.5. Man, I went back and forth on this one. TJ Watt is officially coming back. My boy.
I was going to bring that up if you did.
My MVP pick, who unfortunately suffered that early injury, but it was like a pectoral injury, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, tore his pec.
So, I mean, just his presence alone makes that defense a force to be reckoned with. And it'll make it a long day, I believe, for Andy Dalton and co. But I'm still going with the Saints. I think that the Steelers' problems are much bigger than the subtraction of TJ Watt. And they have a really hard time scoring points. So I'm going to get the Saints to edge them out. And that 1.5, I completely agree with that. It should come down to the wire, but the Saints get it done in the end. So give me New Orleans to get the victory.
Yeah, this is another one where it's a true coin flip. I think the Saints are a better team. They've got the better defense. TJ Watt coming back for Pittsburgh is huge for them. He is a true difference maker. Also, they're coming off a bye. I think Tomlin, I read somewhere, he's like 11-2 coming off a bye week. Some crazy stat like that, right? So coming off a bye at home, Saints aren't exactly a phenomenal team, and their biggest weakness is on offense. Steelers, their biggest strength now moving forward with TJ Watt is their defense. All those reasons I'm going Steelers this week for the very, very minimal upset over the Saints.
Yeah, I mean that wouldn't be a shocker to me.
It's not a real upset. We're flipping a coin.
You got to commit one way or the other, and I went with the Saints. So
yeah,
who dat? The next game.
You sneak that in there, Brandon.
Yeah. Indianapolis Colts headed to Vegas, take on the just unbelievably disappointing Raiders, who are currently sitting at 2-6. Colts not too much better. They're at 3-5-1. Majority of the picks in the Raiders' direction, and I just think that's simply because of Davante Adams and what he brings to the table. Sam Ehlinger, he's going through his growing pains. It's natural in his first, for his first season where he's getting some starts under his belt. I got the Raiders edging the Colts out here, and really this one just came down to the home field presence. I think that plays a huge role here. I think that the Raiders playing in front of their home crowd against pretty evenly matched squad in the Indianapolis Colts, that's what will get them over the top and get them the victory. Another close one. I would not want to put money on this game, stay far away from it, but I picked the Raiders.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
No, I like the Colts in this one, man. I think there's something going on with the Raiders behind the scenes. There's been some weird cryptic messages going out in the press conferences. Derek Carr, subtly, I think he's taking shots at Davante Adams and vice versa.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there's a little trouble in paradise there. And that's why I think the numbers reflect it. He hasn't exactly been lighting the world on fire this season, even though I still think, pound for pound, maybe the best wide receiver in the NFL. I think there's something up with the Raiders. Something's off there. I don't trust them. They don't pass the sniff test for me. They are at home, but I don't think it's a huge home field advantage for them. I'm taking the Colts this week to get it done. Jonathan Taylor back. The running game, I think they can establish it and get it done. I don't think they win by much, but I think they win this week.
I mean, that would be a crusher for the Raiders to lose this one at home against the Colts.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be making some changes, whether it be in coaching or I think they've already fired their offensive coordinator, right? So they've already started.
Maybe.
They've already opened that up, but I have a feeling McDaniels is safe for some reason this season. Maybe the owners already come out and said that, but
I think it's hard to justify firing a head coach in the first year, right?
Exactly.
That's why Hackett is still there. That's why McDaniels is still there. But I think McDaniels' record as a head coach is not great. So I think he could definitely be on the hot seat after this season. I think he makes it through a full season because the Raiders are like, fuck, what else are we gonna do? But he could be in the hot seat after the season. I think he's just shown he's a great, I mean, top tier offensive coordinator, right? No doubt about that. But as a head coach, man, he might just fucking suck. That happens quite often. So yeah, anyway, Colts. Give me the Colts.
All right. This next one is our next 4:00 kickoff, which is the Dallas Cowboys headed to Lambeau to take on the Packers. Dallas riding high at 6-2. Packers just another extremely disappointing team this season, and they won like 13 games last year. They're just not the same squad. Speaking of Devontae Adams, it looks like losing him has a much bigger impact than they thought.
Massive.
But I think their problems are a lot bigger than just missing one wide receiver. It just, you can tell from, we talk about it multiple times, Aaron Rodgers' body language. He just doesn't look like he gives a flying fuck. And I don't think we'll see much change here. Now, it is Aaron Rodgers going up against his former head coach and Mike McCarthy. So maybe that will give him a little bit of a mental boost to show that he still has plenty left more in the tank. But I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Cowboys do get the victory here because the Packers are that fucking bad. I don't know how I'm going to really be able to pick the Pack at all in any more games. I mean, the last opportunity was against the Commanders, so they missed the boat on that one.
I'm going to have to agree with you. Unfortunately, I hate picking the Cowboys. It fucking pains me to do it, but that defense, man, that defense is legit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they just get pressure on Aaron Rodgers early. Once you rattle Aaron Rodgers, he's done for. So you could do it, whether you do it first half, second half, first quarter, third, doesn't matter. If you rattle his cage, he will shut down. He doesn't have the mental fortitude anymore to just fucking, it's not even mental fortitude. He just doesn't give a shit, right? If you rattle his cage, he goes, well, that's it. I'm done here. Now, I will say this, because they're at home and because I don't really trust the Cowboys offense too much on the road, I would give the point spread. I'm not sure what it's at. I think it's
four.
Yeah, 4-ish points. I might take a flyer on the Packers to keep it within a field goal, but the Cowboys are just, I think they just rattle his cage early, and we're going to see another poor showing from Aaron Rodgers, even at home, even against his former head coach. And the biggest thing that I think the Devontae Adams trade took away, I saw a stat where last year they were one of the best teams in the league on third down. This year they're one of the worst teams on third down. Like, that is a direct reflection of Devontae Adams, because every time you needed a big catch from that guy, Rodgers would find him. And it was almost seemed to be every third down, right? So if he doesn't have that guy anymore, their offense is anemic. They can't keep the defense off the field, right? A whole host of issues follow that. So, Cowboys. Packers, I think, are in a world of hurt moving forward after the season. They've got to figure something out. They got to make some changes.
We both hope we're wrong there, but we're both picking the Cowboys.
I will have my green and gold on tomorrow afternoon. Nothing makes me happier than a Cowboys loss, but they're just the better team. There's no doubt about it.
All right, let's go to the NFC West matchup between the Arizona Cardinals and the LA Rams. The Rams, defending champs, sitting at 3-5, and Cardinals. I mean, what the hell? I don't know. I don't know what to make of the Cardinals. I think I'm seeing the Rams and understanding that they're just going to have a bad year and they need to start thinking about life after Stafford. Even though, again, surprisingly, coming off of a Super Bowl win, Stafford just hasn't looked like his old self, and he looks like a different type of old self. But right. Rams are favored by 3, and the majority of the pickers out there are going with the Rams over 70%. I'm going with the Cardinals here. I just can't trust the Rams, and
Yes.
I can't. So I think the Rams are gonna lose plenty more games, and this is a great place to start here. And with the Arizona Cardinals, who I think could win big here. I wouldn't be surprised if they score, they get a double-digit lead early, and the game just gets away from the Rams, and they can never get back in it.
Damn. Yeah, I went back and forth on this game a lot too. There were some tough ones this week, and this is one that I really waffled on. I think ultimately, again, home team just pushes me over the edge anytime I'm making picks that I'm really uncertain about. I do like the Rams, but this game could truly go either way. I have no idea how it's going to end up. The only team I trust less than the Rams might be the fucking Cardinals, right? So I don't know. Lean into the Super Bowl win, lean into the home team, and kind of fade Kyler Murray. I don't trust that guy for anything. So yeah, I'm on the Rams side, but man, if I wake up Monday morning and look back on Sunday, it's like, oh yeah, of course the Cardinals won. The Rams are trash, right? So I have no idea. It could go either way, but I'll take the home team, Rams.
All right, nice, man. Yeah, we, as expected, we're differing a lot this week.
Yeah, I like it.
Called
Drama. This is why you sign up for Brash Plus, because
This
you
is
get
it.
all the drama.
You need to have this drama in your life. I mean, this is what puts the butts in the seats.
Butts in seats.
All right, well, let's head to Sunday Night Football on NBC. That's where you can find the LA Chargers, who I like to still refer to as the San Diego Chargers, sitting at 5-3. And they are headed to San Francisco to take on the 49ers, who are currently at 4-4, but favored by 7. They, right now things are looking up for the 49ers. And even though they're 5-3, things aren't looking great for the Chargers. They're just not a confident team at the moment. And you never know what to get week after week with Justin Herbert this year. So
I know where this is going.
I have to go with the 49ers at home against the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I have not been impressed with the Niners this year, but I do think things have taken a turn, and their offensive play calling has been extremely clever. They're utilizing their weapons. They're getting Deebo Samuel back. So, yeah, I got the 49ers, but I would stay away from that 7-point spread. I do like the over, though, which is currently at 45.5. But give me the Niners to get the job done at home against the Chargers.
Yeah, I agree. I love the over in this game. I went back and forth again with this one, but for everything you just said, really, it's the Niners. They're just more creative. They have more weapons. They're more creative. Chargers are missing their top 2 wide receivers. I don't know if they're getting Keenan Allen back this week. He's been questionable every week and hasn't played. Mike Williams is for sure out. I just have more faith in the Niners to pull it off. And I think that this is a game that can definitely give them some momentum moving forward. I have very high hopes for this team, and I think that this could be a kind of a proving ground, right? They win this one, they might win it big, and they launch themselves moving forward against some NFC teams that I think that they're truly the class of. Even though the Eagles and the Vikings are right there, I still give the edge to the Niners. So this is a game where I think that they know they need to prove something this week.
That should be an entertaining one on Sunday night. I like that matchup.
Love the over in it. Normally primetime overs are not a safe play, but these two teams, I think we could see some fireworks.
All right, and now we got to close out Week 10 with the Monday night matchup. The lowly, the sad, the ever disappointing Washington Commanders headed to Philly to take on the only undefeated team in the NFL, sitting at 8-1, Philadelphia Eagles. Redskins do not have a good history on prime time, and an absolutely horrendous record on prime time away from home. This is setting up for a complete disaster. It might be one of those games where I end up turning it off at halftime because I simply just can't take it anymore.
Uh-huh.
But I'm picking my boys. I'm
Yeah,
picking them to
okay.
get the upset
Yeah.
and the undefeated streak in Philly. Make the Eagles question themselves. Like, how in the hell could we possibly lose to this shitty ass Commanders team? I, of course, have been watching the Redskins / Commanders every single week, and I do feel like their defense seems to get a little bit better every week, and they're extremely confident unit. Offense, you know what to get. You know, it's just blah. So you really need to hope that it's our defense that starts off strong, rattles the Eagles early, and perhaps forces a few turnovers that lead to some short yardage situations for my boys. And that's what I'm banking on. I think the Redskins are pissed off after that gut-wrenching loss against the Vikings last week, and they will bounce back and they'll shock the world on Monday night, pick up the win against Philly. You heard it here first on Brash Plus.
I love that pick. I really do. Before we even talked about it, when I was looking at the pick'ems early in the week and just kind of trying to wrap my head around it, things I need to look into, etc. I really almost picked Washington for my initial run through. The Eagles are hard to pick against at home, but I do think the Commanders can give them a run for their money. The Eagles are bound to lose at some point. This feels like a trap. No one's given the Commanders a shot in hell.
Nor should they. Nor should
they. But I do like the potential for an upset here. I'm still going to play it safe and pick the Eagles at home, but man, I would not be surprised if it's a really close game. And if I wake up, I guess Tuesday morning, and I recheck the scores and go, fuck, that's right, Washington won last night, I wouldn't be super shocked. So give me the Eagles, but yeah, that fucking double-digit spreads also have been a fucking curse for teams. Look at last week, man. Titans against the Chiefs and the Jets against the Bills. You have these double-digit spread. Philly, Houston. I mean, Houston kept that game fucking close, right? Like, now you're going to toss a divisional matchup in the mix, a team that's better than Houston. I don't know, man. Double-digit spreads are a curse. Close game. I love a close game here. I don't have the balls to pick Washington, unfortunately, but I do like them. I do like them this week, so I like your pick.
And again, I have to go with the Commanders here. I have to pick them. I have to believe that we're going to see an upset because 4-6 in the NFC East, we're out. It's over. I mean, again, even if they somehow mustered a run and snuck into the wild card, they're going to lose their first playoff game anyway. But I want to see that one playoff game. So I have to hold out hope that they can remain in the hunt until the very end. But getting yet another divisional loss, a second to the Eagles, and putting us at 4-6 in the best division in football, it would just be completely devastating. And you mentioned it. Eagles are Vegas's favorite team this week at the 11-point spread. Over under at 43.5. That brings us to our total points for the game, which,
oh shit,
I don't know. I guess I just assumed that if I'm going with the Commanders, I have to assume they're going to score over 20 points, or at least, or maybe even 23, 24 points. And again, their defense has to lead the way. I picked a total point total rather of 52 for Monday night.
Wow. Okay. See, wow. I went the opposite direction. I just had to look it up. I always forget about the points. And when I was picking games, I think the only way that Washington keeps it close, which I think they will, is by shutting down the Eagles' offense. So I think Washington's fucked if they think that they can try and keep up with Philly. Um, I have a lower scoring game. I put 39 as my total. So I like the under here because I do think it's a close game, and I think the only way it's a close game is if the Redskins can slow down. I'm sorry, the Commanders can slow down the Eagles' offense. So
Don't you
39,
apologize?
39. Yeah, dude, I'm so sorry. That was a
Yeah,
microaggression.
I guess they would have to 39. You said
39.
okay. Wow. Yeah. I mean, I guess I kind of contradicted myself because I'd say they have to score 23, 24 points. They would actually have to score 27 points. And then again, nothing's easy, especially if they do pull off the upset, it will be just a complete nail biter. I will come in with just nubs. I'll just be nubbing it up all over the place,
Right.
and it would be like we have like a 27 to 17 lead with like 4 minutes to go. Eagles score a touchdown, get the 2-point conversion. We do a 3 and out. They get the ball back and make us just sweat it. And our defense rely on our defense to close it out in the end. That's the type of victory it would have to be. The only way it would play out. So yeah, 27 to 25 type score line is the way this one would have to go if the Commanders have any chance. So
yeah, I like it. I mean, I'd rather see that than my fucking low scoring bullshit game on Monday night just as a neutral fan. Although I won't be neutral. I mean, I will truly be rooting for the Commanders, right? If there's any hope of the Giants winning the East, which
and they got to
I
lose
don't
at
think
some
there's
point.
much.
They're not
They have
going
to lose at some
undefeated.
point,
So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Those bastards in Philly, they got to lose.
All right.
Well, that's it. That does it for our pick'ems. Let's move right along to this weekend's parlay. And I think we made it pretty clear while we were making our picks. We're not pausing for station identification. So
no, we don't need to. It's Brash Plus.
Brash Plus, no need.
Yeah. This is a Pandemonium parlay edition.
Yeah. And thanks to all the Brash Plus subscribers, we don't need the sponsorship money for these segments. So let's jump right into it. Let's start off with our favorite. You want to start off with your favorite, Josh?
Yeah, I'll start off with my favorite. I think most people's favorite will be the Chiefs money line minus 435 at home against Jacksonville. I don't need to say much about this. No. I said it all earlier. Rewind your video if you need me to tell you more about this. Just rewind it, you lazy fuck. Brandon, how about you?
All right. I love it already. That's 1-0 right there in our parlay. So let's
hopefully
let's go with my favorite. I'm going with the New York Giants getting the victory against the Texans. If I didn't make it clear, I think they win by at least 10 points in this one. Yep. That money line is at minus 230 for the G-Men. So there you go.
I hope you're right, and you could be right. I'm a very pessimistic fan. I never trust my team. I'm always kind of like a woe is me type fan. So hope you're right.
All right, what's your coin flip for this week?
Coin flip. I'm holding back a cough right now. I don't want to cough directly into my mic. Right now, I've got the Browns plus 3.5 at the Dolphins. Again, I picked the Dolphins in the pick'ems, but I really think that this is a field goal type game. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to overtime. I think that, the Dolphins are the better team. They could win, but I don't think it's by much. I don't think it's convincingly. The Browns play everybody tight, it seems to. Every time you count the Browns out, they fucking make a play and surprise people. So if you're going to give them 3.5 points, I will take them. And I will take them against the Dolphins at minus 115.
I really like that one because, as I mentioned before, I do think that will be a close one that comes down to the wire. Those Browns are scrappers. They always find a way to stay
So
in it until
scrappy,
the
man.
bitter end. And yeah, even if the Dolphins get that field goal victory, that still gives us
We're
the
covering.
win in our parlay. So let's do it. My coin flip, I went in a different direction. I went with an under over here. I'm picking the under for the Broncos and Titans game, which is currently at 38.5. At least it is on Barstool where we made our picks, and that is at a minus 110. Yep. I do think it will be a low scoring game. Again, just not a lot of passing yards for either side. Both teams will be heavily relying on the run, and we're looking at like a 20 to 10 type game, or
totally.
Maybe that's too generous. Let's say 17 to 9.
13.
Yeah, all right. 17-13. There you go. I like that. Yeah. That's perfect. So actually 17-13.
30.
That's 30. Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, let's go with the under for the Broncos Titans game.
Yeah, I love that. I love that pick. Now moving on to our underdogs.
This is
the big dogs of the week. Which, by the way, we have to give ourselves some credit here. We are solid with underdogs. We do a really good job. I think we miss more coin flips than we miss underdogs at this point. So I did just want to go ahead, jump in, and jinx us there real quick.
Way to go.
For my underdog this week, I really like the Colts to go on the road and beat the Raiders. I think that at best this is a coin flip, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're going to give me plus 185 for a Colts money line on a coin flip, I'm going to take it. To me, the Raiders just are lost. They can't figure their shit out. There's drama. They're just a bad organization most years. So I like the Colts. Jeff Saturday going out and just being that emotional leader for this Colts team, which we didn't even touch on. Maybe the craziest news story of the entire NFL season is Jeff Saturday taking over for the Colts. I think anytime you see those weird, like, new head coaching things, like the players just are galvanized and want to rally around the guy, and it could be a disaster. It could blow up in my face, but for some reason, I don't know. I like it. I like the Colts plus 185 for a coin flip. Give it to me all day.
Odds definitely in your favor when it goes between you and I's underdog pick. If I didn't make it clear enough, my underdog is the upset of the season. The Washington Commanders getting the victory in Philadelphia, giving the Eagles their first loss of the season. Money line plus 380 for that huge upset that nobody will see coming except for this guy right here. So, and that will do. It's all going to come down to that Monday night game, and it's going to make me sweat even more. I'm putting the pressure on myself and on the goddamn Commanders.
I tell you what, man, if we are 5 in a row and it comes down to that Monday night game, I might fly to DC to go cheer them boys on with all the Redskins fans in the DMV. Dude, I love that pick, man. I talked about it earlier. This does feel like a sneaky way for the Eagles to lose that undefeated streak. Nobody's giving the Commanders a shot here. So I love it. I mean, and plus, God, dude, that boosts our odds so much. Mm-hmm. Speaking of which, when you put all 6 of those together, we're looking at a plus 85.54. That would be $6, as is tradition. Mm-hmm. $6 would pay out $518.25. We can finally pay off those venture capitalists that have been funding this whole thing. Get them off our backs. Look for our next round of funding once our debts are paid off, and who knows, we might be able to upgrade some shit around here. But we'll talk. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But put $518 on $6. Juicy, love it. Chef's kiss.
If we hit this one, I'm going to be in such a good mood because of the mixture of the parlay and the Commanders handing Philly their first loss of the season, that we are guaranteed to update some equipment and our studio. We're gonna be making some solid changes around here. And
Wait a
it's
minute.
all
What do
for the
I
better.
need to change?
I mean, there's a few additions I can think of,
Look,
but
I still have my. Oh wait, there's a box blocking it now. Fuck.
it's a blender box. Yeah,
That's the blender that I. That's the blender that I won in the chili cook-off.
Congratulations, way to
So,
go. There it is.
Thank you.
You got
very
it.
much.
Yeah. I mean, once you have your trophy case, then you can put it in there.
Yep.
But for the time
And,
being,
I will be uploading my video of how to make my special chili to the Brash cooking channel on YouTube. So watch out for that dropping soon.
Exclusively on Brash Plus.
Exclusively on Brash Plus. Yeah. Brash cooking.
Okay. Well, good. I'm happy we can make that plug before we get on out of here. And there it is. The Brash Pick'em Pandemonium, first ever.
First ever.
Let's hope it works out, because we've been screwed over so much recently with these goddamn host websites, but this is a new one, so we're hoping that everything. I will say, throughout the recording, things have gone perfect. It's
really smooth on my end too. Couple dicey moments, but overall just very smooth. So. And we were right at time too. Look at that. Nailed it.
All right on time. And we're I have to bounce on out of here, send this over to the editing department, and try to get this baby posted before Sunday's morning game in Germany. So thanks, my friend. I appreciate you sitting down with me and going through our picks, and let's see how things play out.
All right, buddy. Have a good day. Talk to you later. Peace.